yeah, I just wasn't happy with where I was at in all aspects of my life, and I didn't know where to start. I think the first place that I could admit I was not happy was at my job. I realized that it was my own like thoughts that were stopping me. He was like, "No, you did great. Between me and you, I'm not supposed to let you know ahead of time, but I'm pretty sure we're going to extend an offer letter." And I had to be cool, and I think he could see it. And he said, "What's going on?" I said, "I'm about to go in my car, and I'm about to boo-hoo and scream and like just." He said, "You could do it right here." I said, "No, no, sir."
What was the offer that they gave you as far as the entry level position?
Like the money wise,
Uh-huh.
they gave me 70,000.
Don't play me. Pay me. Cut the tech.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to another episode of Cut the Tech. I am your host, I am your guide, I'm your man, I am Coach Dre. My wife, my mother, my grandmother, they call me Andre, but if you are not those three lovely ladies, then please don't call me Andre. Welcome back, y'all. We are here for another season of Paid Not Played. For those that are new, welcome. We ask that while you're here, please like, comment, subscribe, all those things that the YouTube algorithm looks for us to do, man. We just really appreciate the love. Or don't. We don't care. You grown. Do what you want to do with your time. What I do here on Paid Not Played is I interview people who I have coached through the process of getting a new career path. And so today I got one of my students, Juliet, and she's going to tell you how she went from waiting tables to making $75,000 a year from home with no experience in only 12 weeks. So listen, I'm not going to belabor the point. I'm going to let her get to it and tell y'all how she got to this bag so that y'all can tell people the same motto, which is don't play me, pay me. Cut the tech. You heard? Let's go. What up? What up? What up? Welcome back to another episode of Paid Not Played. This is season 2. We are back with more success stories and more people who are doing exactly what it is that you guys tune in to see. And so today I have a very, very, very special guest of mine. This young lady went through one of my cohorts with another group not too long ago. And she just hit me a couple of weeks ago. It was like, Coach Dre, I just want to tell you I got my first job. I just landed my job. So I had to bring her on here to share her story with you guys. So I want y'all to give a warm CTT family to our sister, Juliet Tesfazgi. What's going on, Juliet? How you doing?
Hey, Coach Jay, I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. I'm doing fantastic. No complaints whatsoever. But that is enough about me. We're not going to talk about me today. You have earned the right to be on here and share your story. And I specifically, when you told me that you got the job, I specifically told you, don't tell me anything about it yet.
Yes.
I want to hear everything while everybody else is hearing it. So we have not prepped for this. I don't know what her answers are, but we're going to get right into it. And so I guess, Juliet, kind of start from the beginning. Like, what were you doing before you got into tech sales, and what made you realize or want to make a career pivot into tech sales?
Okay, yeah. So prior to Course Careers, I was working in restaurants my entire adult life. When I came to America as an immigrant, that's what I was doing while I went to college, after I dropped out of college. And right before I looked for Course Careers, I was just stuck. I didn't know what to do. I could not, I don't know, something woke up inside of me and I was like, I'm doing the same thing over and over again. I'm not learning anything new and I need a change. So I started doing my research and I just couldn't find anything. That was like when I was trying to figure it out. And so I feel like I hit rock bottom, like mentally. And, I realized like I couldn't do it without God. So that's when I started praying and just bawling my eyes out. And it was more than just a job for me. It was just like a mental thing. So soon after, I saw Anthony O'Neill on his podcast talking about Course Careers and Coursera and things like that. Mm-hmm. So then I started researching and I automatically like went ahead and paid for it. Because I didn't want to change my mind.
That's good. Yeah. That's good. So with where you were, you said that you were. It sounds like you were at a space in life where a lot was going on.
Yeah.
right? Like, give us a glimpse. You don't have to go too far into it. I know you're here to share your story, but I don't want you to get to the point to where you mess your makeup, you start crying.
Yeah.
But but yeah, share us a little bit about kind of where you were mentally at that time.
Yeah, I just wasn't happy with where I was at in all aspects of my life, and I didn't know where to start. I think the first place that I could admit I was not happy was at my job. So if I could tackle that, at least maybe then slowly everything else could work out. So at that point in my life, that was the easiest avenue to like, okay, I'm gonna head first towards that. And so it just became repetitive. I just felt like even though I have a great community at my job, and I have a lot of regulars and stuff like that, I just was not happy anymore. It just became routine. It became mundane. I was just like wanting to pull my hair out. So I paid for course careers. I did start learning on my own. And then when I came to the final, I just panicked. I couldn't do it.
Panic when it was showtime.
Yeah, I could not. I don't know. Maybe I just was like glancing past everything. But once the final came, I was like, oh, I have to sit down and study for this. Like, this is just too nerve-wracking. I'll just deal with it later. And then I just kind of pushed it to the back burner.
Okay, this is a good question. This is good because I've just had this conversation with a group of students last week. You said that where you were at that point in time, you were like something has to change. It has to. And so you purchased course careers so that you wouldn't back out of it.
Yeah.
And then after going through it, you get to the point where it's time to take the exam and something in you wants to back out. Yeah. Like, what do you think it was that on one hand, you're thinking, I'm so fed up with where life is. I need to do something different. But on the other hand, when it's time to do that thing that's different, there's a fear that could overtake you and make you feel like, well, what I'm going through ain't really that bad. I think I'll kind of stay here for a little longer. What do you think that was?
Well, the biggest one is comfort. So, I hear everybody's testimony or stories about what they came to course careers for. And, I didn't really have those issues. I don't work so many hours. I live alone. I have everything that I really need. So it wasn't more so of like, oh, okay, I'm struggling and I need something. It was just more so like, oh my God, I can't wait tables for the rest of my life. I'm active now. I could do labor intensive work right now, but what about how many years from now, So once that opened up, that's when I couldn't, let go of that thought, because I had a lot of coworkers that were in their 50s and 60s and their knees were hurting. And I was just like, oh, that could be me. I didn't think of this. I've been too comfortable. When the final came, I got nervous because, again, it's comfortable. I work 4 days a week, only nights. Like now I have to work 9 to 5. I'm just all these excuses, it's not really the future as in, oh, okay, I have to work 9 to 5 or anything. It's just the unknown that makes me made me nervous. Like, I'm comfortable where I'm at. I know this, I know how to do this. This I don't know how to do. I'm not an expert in,
That's good. That's good. That's good. So you said you got to the point where you were ready to take the exam on your own, and then you panicked.
Yeah, I was not ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so that's when you decided to join one of my cohorts, correct?
Well, yeah, like I think it was like a year later.
Oh wow, it was a whole year?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I just kept pushing it off, and then as I was pushing, I think it might have been even a little bit more than a year. I kept pushing it off, and as I was pushing it off, everything else in my life was getting fixed. And so then the only sore spot was the job. So that's when I paid for the court.
Okay. Yeah. So you decided, let me pick this back up and get in here. That's a good thing, because as you know, I've told you this, I told the class this, majority of my students are people like that who have started it, and then for some reason they just got comfortable and life happened, and they look up at 6 months, 8 months, a year, 2 years later, and they still haven't finished it.
Yeah.
And so, what role do you think that the cohort or mentorship or getting that little extra push did in helping you finish the course?
Well, I don't think without the cohort I would have finished, to be honest.
Mm,
I needed someone to put it like in like a realistic like way, like, something I could understand. I
mm,
needed someone who was a human talking to me. For, I'm a visual learner. I'm a person who learns from other people. And I'd seen your interview on Anthony O'Neill, and
okay.
I just felt like I could relate with you. You had a lot of you spoke about God and how that was like a really important aspect of you finishing the course. And it just clicked for me because that's like what I went through.
Mhm,
Um, and then the biggest thing was, I think our first week was when you talked about knowing your why.
mhm.
And I
Yep.
never thought of it like that, because it was easy to quit before discovering
Mm.
that. So that really helped. Yeah.
So when you did figure out what your why, we went through that course, that segment of the course. Like, what was the why that you developed at the beginning of the cohort that would be the thing you would come back to and help you get over the hump to actually finish it?
Well, I remember you asking someone in class why, and you just kept peeling the onion.
Mm,
And I don't know if I got as far, but I know I got emotional, so I might have gotten there.
mm,
But for me, it's like my parents provided me with the best life possible. Um, I went to a private school. They sent me to America, like all these things, and I just wasn't using the opportunity that was
mm,
given to me. So once I thought of it like that, and I thought of, what would make my father proud, you
mm,
know, because he did provide all these things for me. Um, it was not serving tables, it was not
mm,
working in a restaurant. And he'd always said that, and I took it as a maybe like a victim mentality. But
mm,
once I thought of it in the other way, I was like, yeah, that's something that, I should make him proud.
mm. That's good. That's good. So what was your biggest aha moment as you were going through the course?
My biggest aha. I think it was when I realized that it was my own like thoughts that were stopping me. Like I
Mm,
remember there was this one point where I got frustrated. I think it was like week 3 or 4. You said, "Is everyone ready for the final?" I don't know if you remembered, and I kind of rolled my eyes because I was like, "Abort, abort! I want to leave."
mm.
And pushing through that week was like, "Oh my God, it's all me." I'm the one that's like either in my way or making way for this.
That's good. That's real good. And that's part of the reason why I do week one of us. Let's really lay the foundation of what your why is, because it gives you a frame of reference to always come back to when your reason why not is always going to be there,
Yeah.
right? Right, no matter what that is. It's all of us are going through something. All of us has something in our head that's telling us we can't do this.
Yeah.
And you can. This isn't difficult. Like, for being honest, it's not really that difficult. The actual job itself, what it is the pivoting and changing of your life, the person you have to become to go to where you want to go next. That's the hard part,
Yeah.
right? So for you, it sounds like you found out what that why was. You got some community, and even through that, you still had that thinking that was like, I don't know. But once you realized it was you, right? I guess my next question would be like, what part of the course, or what part as you were going through the course, do you think it was that challenged you and made you uncomfortable in a good way?
Um, I think one of the tough ones was when we did the breaking out into groups, and I had to do like cold calling because God, I cannot role play for the life of me. I hate pretending. So I remember like you jumped in randomly and you were like giving me pointers, and I just could not stop laughing. Like I couldn't um But the person that I was teamed up with was really great. I remember she was just like giving me pointers, and we just kept practicing as much as we could. And then another thing was just studying, like holding myself accountable. I came up with I did all these flash cards, and I would take them with me everywhere. I would go to Starbucks, and I would say it out loud in the car as I'm driving. And I just was like, I have to get these in my head. I cannot make excuses.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah, the role playing is one of my favorite parts of the cohort because it's so funny. It is so funny. Oh, but okay, so you're at that point. We go through the cohort, and now it's time to take the exam. This is a place where last time you got here, you decided I'm going to wait another year.
Yeah.
Right. So now that you're here and it's time to take the exam this time, how are you feeling? What are your thoughts?
Abort. I want to abort. I keep saying tomorrow. And then I remember you sent a text or something about just get it done or something. Mm-hmm. And then I said, if I don't get it done today, I will never get it done. So I had work at 4 and I started it at 2:30, which was really, really not smart of me. It was really late to work. But I was almost like, you know what, screw it. I'm going to get this done right now. And I knew that I could have studied a little bit more, but it was as long as I just pass with a decent grade, let me just do it the first time. And then if I fail, I'll do it again, And I think you said something like that, just do it, what you have another chance, I never used my second chance though.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. So you took it, you've graduated, you got over that hump. How do you feel at this point?
Oh my God. I woke up early in the morning and I just refreshed the page. And as soon as I don't even know how, I leaped. And then I instantly called my parents to let them know, because they when they came to visit, they were telling me, did you take the class? Did you finish the class? They just kept pressuring me. So I knew that it was their their moment as much as it was mine.
That's good. That's good. That's good. So now you've done it. You've graduated. You are a certified SDR. You're not trying to be an SDR. You are an SDR.
Yes.
Now you have to find a job.
Yeah.
All right. So how long did it take you to land your first job after you graduated?
I think maybe 2 months, but I didn't start looking until we graduated. I graduated, I think, early December, and I didn't start applying until January. Okay. So yeah, so probably a month.
Okay, so you took your time before you started. Yes. What was your job search strategy?
So I pretty much did everything on I found jobs on LinkedIn, and I took your advice. I never applied directly through LinkedIn. I went on their page and applied there. And then I was okay with doing hybrid positions. So, because I knew that it's really hard for them to find people on hybrid. So I did that. And then I wrote a cover letter specific to every job. Of course, with the help of Chat GPT. And a couple of I think 1 or 2 of the jobs, I just kept calling them until they gave me an interview. I just kept bothering them. With the job that I did get, once I did my initial interview, they didn't talk to me for 2 weeks. I don't know why. And I just kept emailing them and bothering them. And then I kind of gave up. I was like, okay, I'm kind of harassing them. And then so the first week I bothered them. And then the next week I got contacted afterwards. Okay. And when I did my interview, I mentioned that they hadn't talked to me. They hadn't, contacted me in 2 weeks. So that was the last interview that I had. And the guy that interviewed me, his name was Brandon. He was like, okay, well, I think, I like you and I want to send an offer. So just be on the lookout for that. And I think 2 days went by and I pinged him on LinkedIn and I was like, hello, like there hasn't been an offer yet.
The girl was busy. That's what's
I
up.
was like, I hit connect and I was like, hey, how are you? Don't forget about me.
What was his response?
Well, as soon as I hit connect, I mean, I think he got the message, I hit connect and then he said, hey, I don't know if they send it out to you, but it'll be out tomorrow if it's not. And then, yeah, and then I got it. Yeah.
Dope. So you landed a job in tech sales in the year of our Lord 2025.
Yes, sir.
In the midst of all the layoffs and all the scary news around tech, and during a time when there are a lot of people the market is just not what it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
What do you think it was that helped you stand out to the employers that you ended up landing with? Even though you were brand new to tech, because now again, you don't have any background in tech besides course careers, right? Yeah. So what do you think it was that helped you stand out?
Well, one, I didn't listen to that. Whatever I heard on LinkedIn of it being oversaturated and not being able to find a job or whatever, I just blocked that out. I think I did about 40 or 50 like applications. I never gave up. And I did a lot of interviews. And I think what helped was I started being selective as well. I wasn't like, just please pick me. As soon as I got like 4 or 5 I think it was 5 companies that wanted to interview and we just kept moving to the next step, I started being selective of what I wanted. And I did, it ended up being between 2 and I did an in-person interview at both places. And actually the one that I wanted was the one that I didn't get. Because once I left, I just ended up feeling like weird. I just was like, that's not for, and I said to God, before I walked in, I said, God, if it's not for me, like, don't give it to me. But if it's for me, I want to be like, and they understand what the hell I'm saying, I want to speak gibberish and they get me and they hire me. Like, I want it to be like that. And so it didn't work out. But yeah, I just didn't believe anything that I was reading. And I just kept going at it. And then anything that was, I would look at their job description and if, I would include those things into my cover letter.
Okay. Yep. That is so dope. You did what SDRs do. You did what a BDR does. Like you went to work for yourself. You treated it like this was your own business. You were the CEO of your company and you were looking for a business partner.
Yep. Thanks
but
to
you were also, you were also your own SDR. So you had to research, you had to do the outreach. And I think one of the things that I'm hearing from your story that sets you apart, because again, I'm coaching people daily on how to get a job, and there are tons of jobs out there. Like I did an exercise with one of my students the other day. We just went on Indeed and typed in sales development. 245,000 roles popped up.
Yeah.
Like people are hiring, right? So don't listen to that noise. People are hiring, right? So you said that you kept calling. You were pestering. You were doing follow-up. You were doing cold calling. That's what you were doing. You were doing exactly what you're supposed to do at the job.
Yeah.
And that is what we mean when we say you do the job to get the job.
Yeah.
And by doing so, the employer knows when you get an employer on a cold call, when you call them, you get their cell phone number, you call them, and like, who is this? You know what they know by the time they get off the phone with you? This person knows how to do the job.
Yeah.
And so that's why the guy said, I like you. I want you on my team. We're sending you a call. We're sending you an offer letter ASAP. All right. So now you got the offer letter, right? How do you feel?
So I actually got told I was getting the offer when I was, when I did the last interview. And so I asked him for feedback, right? So I said, is there anything that I need to improve on and stuff? And he was like, no, you did great. Between me and you, I'm not supposed to let you know ahead of time, but I'm pretty sure we're going to extend an offer letter. And I had to be cool, and I think he could see it. And he said, "What's going on?" I said, "I'm about to go in my car and I'm about to boo-hoo and scream and like just." He said, "You could do it right here." I said, "No, no, sir."
That's what's up.
Yeah,
That's
and
what's up.
before I left the building, I was already boo-hooing. I was just like silently, like just thank you, God. Yeah, I was so happy, so grateful.
That is what's up. That's what's up. So, what's your current role title?
So I'm an associate SDR.
Okay, dope. And so, how has being in the job, now that you're on it, you've been doing it for a little while, a couple months, right?
Actually, no, that's why I left to Eritrea for a month. Yes, on Monday was my start day.
Oh, you just started.
Yes.
That's right. You did say you just got back in town.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, dope. So you're a week in.
Yeah.
How's it been?
Just training, really easy going. It's such a difference in like how things are handled. But so far so good, you know?
Yeah. I just started a new job myself in February, and it's man, like I just imagine like this can't be life. Like the hardest part about the SDR job was getting the job.
Yeah.
for me personally, you know what I mean? Like doing what I needed to do in course careers to get the certificate and then actually landing the job. And I'm at work nowadays, and I'm like, I'm waiting for this to get difficult, and it just hasn't got difficult. I'm sure that there'll be times where it's, and I know there's times when it's sales, so it's gonna be times when it's up and when it's down. But as far as what you do at the day to day at the job, it's simple. It's extremely simple. That's dope. That's dope. So
Yeah.
how has, I guess you haven't really got your first check or anything like that yet, but so far, how has the transition into tech so far? How has it impacted your life?
So again, I'm just doing training, but even yet today I was having a peer mentor, show me a little bit of like what to do on Salesforce and SalesLoft, and just the way she's explaining it is just so easy. Like, I mean, I'm sure like you said, there's difficult times, but it just seems like where I've come from, it takes a lot to make the money that you make,
Mm-hmm.
and with this, it's just a little different. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
again, I don't want to make it seem like it's easy because I'm still in training,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a whole different lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
You're working at the comfort, if you're working remote, I work hybrid. So like 2 days out of the week, I'm working from the comfort of my own home. And then the 3 days in the office, I mean, I haven't experienced it yet because training I can do remote. But when I did go for the interview, it just seems so relaxed compared to where I work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The work is going to be the work. We work hard because first of all, we serve the Lord. So, we want to work hard to be diligent with our gifts, and because we're working for Him, right? But so the work can be difficult, but it's a different kind of difficult.
Yeah.
It's not. It's waiting tables is difficult, right? What I was doing, working 90 hours a week, was difficult.
Yeah.
This is different. This is different. It comes
Yeah.
with a level of peace that
Sure.
I've never known in my life before. So, all right. So, what you've done it? How long did it take you from the time that you started the cohort to the time that you got your job?
So, I believe we started in November, like late-ish November or something like that. And then I finished in December 6th is when I
Okay.
got my completion certificate.
Okay.
And then by like beginning of March, I already had my offer.
Dope. So in December, January, February, March, 4 months.
Yeah.
4 months, 120 days.
Yeah, and I did take a break, and I didn't apply right away. I took a break and everything. So yeah.
Cool. So income wise, as far as what they're paying you at the new place, compared to what you were doing before you got into tech, what is the difference? What are you doing?
I would say like a $10,000 difference.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Working less hours.
Yeah. Well, and
Because you
more
said you
relaxed.
didn't work a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Working in corporate.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
Especially heading to the summer,
Uh-huh.
I can maintain my hair because I don't have to work patios anymore.
Ah, of course. That's the only thing you care about is the hair.
No, I mean, um, the reason I wanted to work in corporate is because, I can continue to work up the ladder, in restaurants, there's not much that you can grow. So that's why I felt stuck for a long time. But yeah, so I'm excited about that. They're already talking about ongoing learning so that you can move up in the role. And
Nice.
that's really something that I actually, during the interview process, really, asked about to every place that I interviewed at. That was really important to me. And majority of the jobs did offer that. So that's really something that's, good. And that's why people should I don't know what people do, but if you are looking to do course careers or tech sales, that is really important, that you can continue to grow in what you're doing. Yeah.
Yep. This is entry level. You say that for a reason. Now that you're in the door, go where you want. Speaking of which, what was the offer that they gave you as far as the entry level position?
Like the money wise,
Huh?
they gave me 70,000.
Yeah. 70,000 entry level. I want y'all to understand that entry level. That means that now, Juliet, you have a skill set.
Yeah.
That no matter what happens, as long as there is Wi-Fi and there are companies that are selling technology, you can go anywhere in the world and make $70,000 a year. At least that's a new floor.
Yeah.
Not only that, the skill set to not just do the job, but you also have the skill set on how to get the jobs. And if you decided to pivot and go outside of tech sales and do something different, you can still use those skills to separate yourself when looking for those jobs. So like I got another student of mine who just got another job. And she was like, they started me at 85. I'm like, of course they should. You're not entry level talent anymore.
Yeah.
Right. So a year from now, when you're doing your thing, like, and you say, hey, I want to move up or however you want to do it, like you just got introduced to a career path that'll lead you to 6 figures a year.
Yeah.
That's great.
I just want to quickly also mention that it's really important how you treat anyone that you meet, because when I was doing, when I finished course careers, I didn't know some of the regulars at my job do sales. I did not know that. So when I mentioned that I was looking for a job, I can't even explain to you how many people were looking to help me, And so yeah, and I was like, you know what, for my first time, I actually want to do it on my own. But in the future, sure, but it's really important. You don't know who you're serving. You don't know who you're talking to. And so that was something that was really like, if this ain't God, I don't know what is moment.
Yeah. For sure. That's so dope. I guess I'll end it with this. This is the last question I'm going to ask you, right? Okay. If you had to do it all over again, you had to start over, what would you do differently?
Shoot, I would have finished a long time
ago. Yeah, no procrastination. I'd have got this done a long time ago. You know what I'm saying?
I'd have been at 85K now,
Yeah. That is so dope. That's so dope. So look, Julia, I thank you so much for jumping on here and sharing your story, giving back to the community. Do you have anywhere that you want people to follow you at? LinkedIn, or are you like, don't follow me nowhere? I'm
On LinkedIn, I believe it's Juliet Tisfazgi. On any other social media, I go by my father's name for my last name. So it's Juliet Afrom, AHFEROM. And you can find me on there. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, y'all go give her a follow. Tell her thank you for inspiring you all, because I'm sure your story is going to inspire a lot of people. Right. And so, you know what? I want to ask this one question. I did tell someone last. I want to ask this. You mentioned your father, you mentioned your mother, you mentioned you were an immigrant, you mentioned they sent you over here, but you also telling me that you just got a chance to go home not too long ago. What does your family and your support system, what do they think about your new career?
So we had a discussion with my family right before I came back, and my father said, you know, he feels like he can pump up his chest now. And that was really heartfelt for me. I think for a long time I just was kind of maybe rebellious. But now it's like that visit home, the career, everything is just from God. You know, it just feels like that story in the Bible where you know, the man comes out and like finds his son and prepares a feast.
Yeah, prodigal son.
Like that. Yeah, it was like that for me.
Dope. That's so dope. Especially because you said that the reason why you were doing this is because you felt like you hadn't been taking advantage of the opportunity your dad had given you. So, oh man, making a father proud. As a father, I can only imagine how your dad feels. So that's so dope. That is so dope. That's so dope. Where are you from?
I'm from Eritrea. It's in East Africa, right above Ethiopia.
Okay. Got you. That's so dope. So look, again, y'all go follow Juliet wherever. Make sure y'all hit her inbox and tell her that she inspired y'all. And then most of all, do what she did. You know what I mean? If you feel like this story touched you, we got links down in the description for you. Go check out Course Careers. There are tons of different things in there, not just tech sales, but there's about 14 different options that we have for you now. Yeah. So go find the one that best fits you. Every last one of them has a free introductory course. So you can check it out, find out if it's for you. And if it is, then pursue it. If you decide to do tech sales, I'm your man. I'm here. Coach Dre. I'm here to help you and walk with you. So we're going to get out of here. But Juliet.
And I can just say, if you do join Course Careers and you feel yourself stalling, join Coach Dre's cohort. $200 extra for $70K outcome is not too bad, you know.
Say that again.
An extra $200 for $70K outcome is not too bad.
That's what you call an investment into yourself. Yep. So, we're gonna get out of here, but y'all know here at Cut the Tech we have a motto, right? Yes. We live by it. We stand on it. And Juliet, you are one of the ambassadors of it now because you've done it, right? So on the count of three, I'm gonna have you take us out of here. Matter of fact, you count it down. You take us out of here because it's your time. It's your time to tell the world what you're going to tell me. Where you go?
Don't play me, pay me, cut the tech.
You heard?
Don't play me, pay me, cut the tech.
Thank y'all again for stopping by the Cut the Tech channel. Please, on your way out, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button, all that good stuff if you like the content. And if you like what you've been listening, well then right here, there's a video that the algorithms think that you might like. Check it out. Heard?